All right. It says we're live, but we know how YouTube does. It's like 15 seconds, and then we'll be live. So, but Mike Shepard's in here already.
Let's see if we can get some 2x4s in the chat.
He forgot Dana. Mike, you need to put in hi Dana also.
He's been at Kroger buying brandy ingredients.
You can tell the winos in the bunch, can't you?
Hey, Miss Sharon's here. Hey, Miss Sharon.
All right. Shelly, cue the intro.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Homestead HQ, where we talk about homesteading and preparedness. My name is Shelly, and
I'm Jason. And then we've got Dana from Russell Homestead.
Hi, everybody.
And we'll just get it out of the way. Dana is nervous about being live on YouTube, but nobody be mean to Dana. If you're going to be mean to Dana, we're going to kick you out tonight. That's the rule. So if anybody says
nobody's going to be mean, we got a great crew.
Yeah. So, all right, Stephanie's here, and Miss Sharon's here, and then Greg Skeens is here. All right. Do we just want to jump into like fermenting, or do we want to talk about what we've been doing?
Let's talk. Well, we can talk a little bit about what we've been doing.
All right.
I don't really want to talk about what's been going on with me because I feel like that's a whole other show because it's a lot. But you can talk about what you've been doing.
Well, we had this weird meetup. All these crazy kooky ass people showed up at Western's farm, and we drank a bunch of wine and drank a bunch of apple brandy. So
okay. So let me be honest. So I met you. When did I meet? I met you in 2022.
Yeah.
It was like August or something like that, or 2022. I have never seen you drink alcohol in the whole time that I have known you. And I know that you did in your past and stuff, but we've been out to eat and stuff like that. I've had a beer or whatever. I've never seen him drink alcohol. Yeah. Man, he broke into Dana's brandy, and that's all she wrote. I was sitting there going, "Who is this guy?"
I drank like a shot is all I had, and I nursed it. So, and you'll probably honestly never see me drink again.
It was good stuff, though, wasn't it?
It was extremely good. I was like,
"Oh my God. Is good." So smooth. It tastes really good, but it's potent.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get any simpler to make.
Yeah, it's like the easiest alcohol. Like I thought winemaking was easy. That's nothing. I mean, it is so stinking easy to make that.
Yeah.
Mike said they went and got organic apples and raisins today, so he's going to be making brandy.
Yep.
Greg liked it. He thought it was good.
And Mike said it was really good. And then Miss Sharon put, that is the link to Dana's Facebook page. So if you want to go do that, you'll never see her talk on her Facebook page, but you'll get good music and her doing stuff. So,
and she has instructions, like what she's doing. She'll put instructions on there, what she's showing you how to do.
And Stephanie, what's the PM? Oh, wait. All right.
It's not. She's just laughing.
Oh, well, it had PM on there too. So
I don't see that on my side. That's weird.
Yeah,
I just see emojis.
Yeah. All right. But no, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, heck, I was like, we're going to have to call the Ubers, and some people are going to have to get an Uber home. And I told Dana, like, she had this pretty little bottle of brandy. It wasn't open. And I'm like, Dana, how much is this thing? She's like, I don't sell it. And I was like, I want to buy the thing. I was like, I want to crack it open. She's like, just go ahead and open it. And then after that, I mean, there wasn't that much left in the bottle. When I turned my back, I was like, holy crap, everybody's done tore it down.
Yeah, they
wasn't enough for us to test it, and the hygrometer fell plumb to the bottom. We don't even know it's strong. I'd already told BJ, though, I have a hygrometer, and I've never tested it before. But I am going to do that this next batch when I strain it out. And if it's at least 80 proof, then I'm just going to start making my tinctures and then that'll cut out the expense of me buying vodka.
And think tinctures. How good those tinctures will taste.
Right.
Not like vodka or Everclear or whatever, man. It'll be like smooth tincture.
I tell you that's one of the big gripes about tinctures is it just tastes horrible with the alcohol in it, like the pure grain or whatever. Yeah. I mean, that would get me to take it more.
Yeah.
And Stephanie says she doesn't get on Facebook much, but it sounds like she's going to check you out.
All right.
You're going to have like 1 million followers after this. So, and Bill showed up.
Hey, Bill.
So,
Yeah, we were
right.
worried when we didn't see you last week. I had to find out what was going on. I texted him. I'm like, everything okay out there?
Yeah,
He's
well,
like,
I told him.
It's fine. It's just cold.
Yeah, well, he put a comment. He missed one of the lives and then put a comment in that what he had been doing and everything. And I was like, all right. I responded. I was like, we're gonna have to send a search party out for you. We're getting worried about it. So
that's a great idea, Miss Sharon. She said, just put your tincture in apple juice. That's a fantastic idea.
That would work.
I'm always just like, when I'm feeling bad and I take one, I'm just like, I just got to take it.
Yeah.
I just mix it in a tiny, like a tablespoon of water and do it that way. I'll put multiple in there and take them all at one time.
All right. Newman is here. I have not seen her in a hot minute. Newman, how's your hand doing? She had carpal tunnel syndrome and had surgery on it. So hopefully her hand's doing good.
So that homestead meetup was the third one that we've had. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And we had a really good turnout.
There's like 23 or 25 people there.
Yeah, something like that. But I think that everybody was very pleased with the information that they learned and the stuff. I'm pretty sure that all of them are at home making brandy now because it's so stinking easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll tell you all how to do it if you weren't at the meetup.
The video will be out soon.
Yeah. You guys will be slapping yourself in the head when you see how easy it is. You're like, oh my God, I could have been doing this my whole life.
Yeah. Literally takes 5 minutes. If you have the apples cut up, it's no time at all.
So we made that batch at the meetup, right? And I wanted to do a second batch. And so I had Randy pick up the apples and stuff. And then Monday when I came home from work, I said, will you come in here and help me make this brandy? And he thought we were going to do like, because he's been there, making wine when I make wine. And he's like, yeah, I guess. And so we go in there and I give him the apple core and I'm like, just start coring those apples. And he goes, what are we doing with this? And I said, making brandy. So he gets them cored and we're putting them in the jar. And I give him the big masher stick. And I'm like, okay, mash them up. And I put the raisins in and the sugar in. And he's like, what do we do next? And I said, mash it up.
Yeah.
So we get done and he goes, is this it? Is this all you do? And I was like, yes, this is literally all we do.
Yeah. It doesn't get any simpler than that, for sure.
Right.
Goodness. Danny G's here. We got to meet Danny's wife. Danny didn't get to make it. His wife came. So very nice lady. I talked to her for a few minutes when she showed up.
Yeah, she gave me her information. She said that they raise Katahdins down in Livingston. So I'm gonna be hooking up with them.
Yeah.
Newman said that she slipped on the ice 3 times within minutes, busted her tailbone, landed on her surgical scar, bruised her hip, and she was safer while she was deployed. I am so sorry to hear that, Newman.
Said her right wrist is healing up though. So
man, that's awful.
Well,
this ice has been stupid.
I'm ready for it to leave. I mean, and it's supposed to be like 48 tomorrow or the next day.
It's supposed to be in the 50s this weekend.
Let me see.
Yeah.
It's supposed to get up to 55 at some point. Which it needs to, because my animals are sick and tired of being in the barn.
It's gonna be 48 on Friday, and then 52 on Sunday, and 58 on Monday. Then it's gonna be 64 and 60 Tuesday and Wednesday.
I'm gonna be in the greenhouse every day.
Well,
you're gonna be starting plants.
I already have. I did that yesterday.
Awesome.
Got some cabbages and stuff going.
Well, Hatfield Homestead's here. So,
hey, Hatfields.
All right. Other than the meetup, I hadn't really done anything. Like I took we had a bunch of stuff. We went to church. Went to church on Sunday. They didn't have the 8 o'clock service, so we had the 9:30 and the 11. Yeah, the 9:30 and the 11 service. And I told one of my buddies that's friends with me that does our Sunday school, I was like, I'm going to put on my overalls and my jacket, and I was like, I'm going to help people come in and out of there. So I spent an hour helping. I called them all little old ladies, no matter how old they were. I'd come up, their husband would drop them off, and I'd open the door. I was like, I'm helping the little old ladies, to the door. And some of the younger women are like, I'm not old. And I was like, you're close enough. I was like, don't worry about it. And of course they start laughing about it and everything. The husband's like, yeah, she is pretty old. You need to help her. And I'm like, okay. So we did that. And then we went and ate lunch and went bowling with some of the kids from church. And that was the longest. There were 7 of us on a lane. That was the longest bowling match in history.
I bet.
Yes. And I'm just like, I am so ready to go. I looked up and I'm like, we're only on the 3rd frame and we've been here an hour. So that's all I did on Saturday, and then came home and took a nap. So, all right, let's talk about fermenting. We've screwed around for like 11 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean, we can screw around a little longer. I mean, hey, silver, we can talk about silver. Silver took a dump. So.
Is it below 100 now?
All right, I had it pulled up. It is 88.47.
Wow. It dumped way down.
It was up to like 121 and then it dumped down to 80. It's 88.47 right now. So
I mean, that's still high, but doggone, that's $40 difference right there.
I said the other day, if it hits $60, goes down to $60, I'm gonna buy some more.
Newman says it'll go back up.
Yeah, I don't know. They're manipulating all the stuff, so it's who knows. I mean, it's what it is. I'm just
probably doing that just to make the dollar worthless, right? Because doesn't that impact the worth of the dollar?
Well, the more silver and gold go up, the lower the dollar is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're in the stages of I mean, whatever it is. What is it? That 250-year cycle? What that the cycle that the end of an empire and stuff like that, or those 88 years or some crap that do that. I mean, we're in that. The dollar's dying. The United States is in its death throes. I mean, if something doesn't give, it's going to be stupidity. I mean, you've got idiots in the street in Minnesota protesting and raising Cain about federal police officers doing their job. They're up there arresting people that are illegally in the country, and people are losing their minds about that stuff. You look at it, it's like these people are stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, the some of these people have turned flat out like full retard on everything. Mm-hmm. So that's why we need to be doing stuff at our own place.
That's right.
That's why we need to make our own brandy.
You need ferment.
Yeah. So we'll see if we cannot do any racial slurs tonight too. So.
Well, let's try not to do that. Jeez. So we're gonna get into talking about fermenting. At the end of the show, we'll get Dana to tell you all how easy it is to make brandy. She'll let you know how to do all of that. So stay around to the end of the show if you want to know how to make brandy. But so Dana, tell us about give us kind of a brief overview, rundown, or whatever, the health benefits of fermenting. Why is it important for us to do this? Why is fermenting, using fermenting as a preservation method better than canning?
Well, it's more economically available for one. It's super simple. You literally have to have salt. So when we look at the preparedness aspect of it, having things on hand, being prepared for things, you literally need jars and a top. You don't have to rely on possibly running out of canning lids and that kind of thing and then trying to find more. So you literally need your vegetable and your salt, and that's it. If you have something that is going to require you to make a brine, like a carrot or something like that, that's chopped up, it still just requires salt and filtered water. So the materials needed are so much, fewer than having to come up with safe canning lids or something like that to be able to can something.
Talk about the nutrient part of it, like the gut biome part of it.
Okay. Well, first of all, when a food is fermented, it becomes more nutrient dense and more bioavailable. So it's easier for your gut itself to digest and absorb and generate that into a clean burning fuel, which is your energy source. So therefore, the microbes within your gut are healthy, beneficial bacteria that work with your body instead of against your body.
And a lot of it too, you talked about on Saturday. A lot of these ongoing chronic conditions are because of bad gut health, like leaky gut and stuff like that. Right. And you were talking about, how when you start eating fermented foods, don't go overboard with it, but start in there slow. Yes. And as you do that, tell us what you were talking about, how to get your gut back healthy, and that's going to fix a bunch of these chronic conditions, right?
Right. First of all, your gut itself houses 80% of your immune system. So the healthy bacteria in there that lives in there is what forms your immune system, that allows your body to be able to fight off bacteria, sicknesses, environmental toxins, things that cause your body stress, all of those things, which we also know stress weakens the immune system. So whenever you're strengthening the gut, your body can balance that and fight that off, and then in return you don't become sick. But when your gut is out of whack, if you have an imbalance of, if you have more bad bacteria than good bacteria, the inflammation response is basically your body's security system. When you have an inflammation response, whether it be a headache, a rash, bloating, diarrhea, headaches, some people, it gets more intense and that little rash goes to become hives or eczema or psoriasis. 9 times out of 10, people go to the doctor and they say, I've got gas and bloating and I'm constipated. And the doctor says, well, you have IBS. Well, you do have IBS, but it's all because your gut is all out of whack. So it's screaming at you to fix that instead of allowing it to turn into a chronic problem.
Well, and the problem is when people have those things that happen, all those things that you just listed, they go to the doctor and the doctor gives them, a prescription or whatever to fix those symptoms, but not fix the problem.
Right.
So it makes those symptoms die down, but you still have that underlying problem. Right. And then what does that mean? It means that you are on maintenance medicine for the rest of your life because you want to keep the symptoms at bay. Whereas if you searched out what the root cause is, right. And like we're having this discussion on here and none of us are doctors. None of us, we're not telling you to go quit taking your meds. You need to, I always tell people, I'm like, do your research, get the best information that you can, talk to your doctor, get whoever involved that you want to get involved or get advice from, make your decisions for yourself based on the information that you gather.
Right.
And I think that, like between the three of us, that's what we're searching for is the truth about all of this, because I'm telling you, big pharma and big ag and big food and big everything, they're not telling us the truth about any of that.
No.
They want our dollars. They want us addicted to sugar. They want us on maintenance meds for the rest of our life.
Right.
It's all about money. Mm-hmm. You have to do your own thing. So,
yes. And when I think of the preparedness aspect of being, fully sustainable. And my number one thing, I guess, for doing ferments and eating them, because I feel like when you are doing fermentation and restoring your gut health, that is like your first step into becoming your own medical, person, your own doctor. Like
your own
no
advocate.
one can make you take care of your health.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do that yourself. But if you're constantly spending your days battling chronic issues, and you hear it all the time, just like my mama, oh, that's just part of growing old. I just feel bad every day. But she can't pinpoint anything that she has wrong. She just feels bad. So, like, a lot of that is because of what she eats. And I mean, that is the first step in having your medical, I don't know how to say it.
Medical sovereignty is what I call it.
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in charge of your own health. And I think that is your first step.
And that is one of the big things that you see, and it's kind of cliche. You see all these guys that are in their tactical gear and everything like that, and they call them Meal Team 6 instead of SEAL Team 6. That are the gravy SEALs. It's like there's so many people, and I'm one of them too. I need to lose some weight. I need to eat better every day. I don't do it. Now I've got Dana that's going to be on me, and Leslie, so I'm going to get it, and then Shelly's going to be too. But you see all these guys, yes, they've got 5,000 pounds of wheat and everything else and all this stuff stored up, but then they can't walk up from their basement to the main floor of the house without being winded. And it's like, dude, how are you going to survive? So, and I'm not picking on people that are actually disabled, something like that. That's totally different. But a guy that's able-bodied and 50 pounds overweight, it's like, dude, you need to hit the treadmill before you need to go buy another AR.
And that's what I'm talking about. When you have, here, I have a list of them, looking back at the gut evaluation that I made from Saturday.
Let me address what Miss Sharon has on here real quick. She says, I know she's just being silly, but she says, now I feel attacked. I've never really taken care of myself. Miss Sharon, it's like, I feel the exact same way. Like my whole life, I feel like I've always taken care of everybody else, and I've never sat down and like took time for myself. And, now that Rainey and I are empty nesters and we're getting older and we hurt and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, actually, the thing that got me started on this was, if everything fell apart tomorrow, would I be able to get my meds? What would happen? Like, are there herbs that I can take? All of that kind of stuff. Like, that's when I started checking into all of this, and then found out, stuff that's going on with my health, and started looking at how to fix that or make that better. It's not like I thoroughly believe that we come to this information when we need to come to this information. I mean, I think that it's all like God has a plan in the whole thing. But I also think that had I even known about this stuff when I was younger, I feel like I would have done it, because I mean, it's just something that's always kind of interested me, but I didn't know what I didn't know,
Mm-hmm. Well, it took like, what, 2 generations for us to forget and lose everything that took, thousands of years to learn, as far as food preservation and that kind of thing. And, a lot of people are like, my grandmother didn't deal with all of these things. Well, if they're the same age as my great grandmother that's still alive, they were still fermenting then.
Yeah.
And like blood pressure, once something is fermented, the structure of that changes, and it forms the peptides within whatever vegetable that you're fermenting. The peptides convert. And when they convert, they actually work within the body like an ACE inhibitor. So therefore, that's your natural blood pressure medicine. Did y'all know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the natural forms of things that are provided just by using some salt and vegetables. It's amazing to me. It's
And
crazy how it works.
You talking about being 2 generations away from forgetting that is like, if you think about back when we were kids and growing up, and I know, Jason and I are older than you, but if you think about that time period, that's when we kind of made that transition from home cooked whole food meals that were like all ingredients that you could say and all of that, to processed food with all the chemicals and preservatives in it. And then the genius, I mean, I say genius in a condescending way, but the genius of marketing agencies to make us believe that that's what we needed because there were working moms and you didn't have time to do things that made it easier, and popping it in the microwave and all of those things that has now contributed to, like, it's just compounded everything, right?
Yes.
So,
I mean, convenience replaced all of that.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, you all know, I mean, I worked in the pharmacy for 18 years. And when we're talking about, one person coming in for a medication just for their stomach because they've got the quote unquote IBS symptoms, and then the side effects of that, a few years later, they're on something else. And then the side effects of that, they're on something else. And 5 years later, their one stomach medicine has ballooned into like 5 or 6. And the side effects of all of them, they continue. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bleeding ulcer if you're not fixing the root problem.
Right.
Yeah. It's like John said, coming to grips now with the effects of not taking care of myself. Yeah. It's like one guy said one time, he's like, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. It's like, I didn't plan to live to 50. I mean, I don't know. I've done some dumb stuff that I wished I hadn't have done back in the days, but it's like, we'll get along with it. So,
yeah.
Dana, you're not that, am I that much older than you?
I'm 41.
Okay. God almighty.
You are older than her, and I'm older than both of you.
I know. Jeez. Golly. I looked at it the other day. I said something to Whitney. I was saying something. I was like, yeah, the average age of this group or something's like 50. And she's like, you better watch it, buddy. And I was like, oh crap, I better watch it. It's hard to believe. Like, well, hell, I'll be 48 in May. And I'm like, where? I'm just like, okay. It kind of sucks. But
happens fast.
No kidding. Especially, I don't know.
So let's talk a little bit about your gut evaluation.
Okay.
You started getting into that.
I printed it off just to have. What do you want to know about it?
Well, so you had a list. Dana brought this to the Homestead meetup. She had a list of it was mainly symptoms, right?
I don't know if you can see that. Yeah.
Why don't you read off some of the symptoms, and maybe the people in the chat, they can.
And I'll go ahead and say, one of my really good friends, she's one of the pharmacists that I worked hand in hand with for those whole 18 years that I was at the pharmacy. And she now does like the wellness portion, the functional medicine side, trying to find the root causes of things and how to heal the gut and that kind of thing. So when she and I talked, this evaluation is some of the most common ailments that people complain of having. So bloating, gas, brain fog, heartburn, constipation, diarrhea, and headache. Those are just some GI upset things. Some like teenagers, younger kids are dealing with acne, eczema, psoriasis, and then rosacea, which is like, your cheeks, the inflammation. And then just everyone across the board, adult-wise, deal with or experience anxiety, depression, sleep problems, mood swings, sugar cravings, And then some of them have even been diagnosed as having autoimmune diseases. So those are just some of the most common things.
Yeah. And ferments can help with all of those.
Right. And back to what Jason said, if you ferments, if you're wanting to learn how to do that, that's fantastic. But just keep in mind, if you are new to them, make sure you start. My best advice to give is do low and slow. Like I'm talking, start out with, a tablespoon a day, see how that does. Because when you have a higher amount of bad biome, you're gonna bloat, you're gonna be gassy, you're gonna be burping, you're gonna feel your belly rumbly, because it's adjusting. The good guys are in there and they're going to try to weed out the bad guys. So start out low and slow, do 1 tablespoon. 2 or 3 days later, if you notice, hey, that didn't make me feel as rumbly, move to 2 tablespoons. But I mean, once you get everything leveled out, on a daily basis, I have anywhere from 2 tablespoons of something on a salad to, a whole bottle of kombucha. It just varies on the day. But start out low and slow for sure.
I know Saturday you had said something about, correct me if I'm wrong, you had said something about a lot of ferments will start to help to detox your liver and things like that.
Yes.
And if you overdo it, you can kind of even get into
a healing crisis.
Yeah, a healing crisis,
Yep.
which I would equate that to keto flu or something.
Yes. Fermentation triggers detox in the liver. So therefore, you don't want to jump right in and eat a whole cup of something fermented, and then throw out all the process. You don't want to send your body into what they call a healing crisis. So whenever your liver is already trying to detox, if you've already stopped the processed foods and you're, cutting out the sugar, give your body a couple of days in between that to just kind of filter things out and level back off. Then start with the ferments. Some people, over-the-counter probiotics, if you get a good quality one, they're great. The thing about them is, they are on average 6 to 10 strains of a targeted strain. Whenever you're doing your home ferments, this head of cabbage is going to have different microorganisms than this head of cabbage, or different than these beets, or different than these apples. Every single apple, they're all different. They all have different microorganisms on them. So whenever you're fermenting a bunch of different things, your spectrum of your healthy bacteria, yeast, fungi, those are all, it's so much more diverse. So eating a homemade thing of kraut, 1 tablespoon of it, is probably going to make you a little bit more bubbly in the belly than taking an over-the-counter probiotic. So just know they're not equivalent. They are different.
So, okay, can we switch gears a little bit?
Well, here, hold on. The keto, we're talking about the keto flu and the healing crisis and everything.
Yeah.
I have done keto and carnivore, and it's funny. You hear about all these people talking about, oh my gosh, I felt like crap and thought I had the flu and everything. Yeah. As many times as I've done it, and I will flat do it cold turkey. Like I will start tomorrow morning, no sugar, all just meat and fat, and I have never felt bad whatsoever. It's weird.
Yeah.
So
I think your body's afraid to rebel.
I guess, but it's probably because I eat so much meat anyway. Like
it's just used to it.
Yeah. Well, the other night, I was like, I was sitting there. It's like 8 o'clock at night. I was like, I'm hungry, And I was like, there's a ribeye thawed out. So I grabbed a ribeye at 8 o'clock at night, threw it in a cast iron skillet, and ate like a 14-ounce ribeye and just sit there, a ribeye and a glass of water. And my wife comes in. She's like, are you not going to do any sides? I was like, I've got water. That's my side. And I'm just like, she's like, you're sitting there just eating a big monster ribeye. And I was like, yeah, why not?
And your gut is always sitting there going, we're eventually going to get banana pudding.
Yes. Yeah.
It's eventually going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
When people were talking about if they experienced healing crisis, it is a lot like the flu. Some, experience headache, the muscle fatigue, tiredness. You can get like where the histamines within the body are changing. You can get some nasal congestion, be kind of sneezy, like head cold kind of stuff. But yeah, a lot of people that experience that talk about the fatigue is the big thing.
And a lot of people, that will happen to them and they think something's wrong. I need to stop this.
Right.
Or, like I remember, I don't know, several years ago, the first time I ever did the keto diet, I did get sick like that. I did get fatigue and I felt like I had a cold and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was tired all the time and everything. And my solution to that was go get a Coke. I'm like, I need caffeine and I don't drink coffee. So I'm like, I need caffeine. That's what my problem is. I'm tired all the time. I don't know what's happening, which totally screws everything up. And it's not what I needed. I just needed to get through that.
Right.
So it's not that, if you're doing this, like she said, take little doses, start out with little doses and try to, hopefully that won't happen. But if it does happen, you need to just get through it, I guess.
Yeah. Flush it out with water, help your liver work.
Yeah.
Eat clean foods that work with the body, not against the body. So obviously when, you cut out your processed foods and then you start eating ferments to heal that gut, tiredness is normal because that's, when your body heals and stuff is when you're resting.
Right.
So
it takes time.
Listen to your body. That's very important. Listen to what your body's telling you.
Stephanie's asking, does it take some sort of binder to help with that? And I'm not sure what that means, binder. I'm not sure what she means.
Maybe she's talking about like the liver detox binders that help kind of pass that through. I'm sure there may be some, but I just do it naturally. Flush with water, eat clean food, and rest. Try to let my liver, don't add more stress to it. Let it go naturally.
Right. Okay, let's talk salt.
Okay.
What kind of there you
go.
go.
Salt or salty?
Salt.
Okay.
What kind of like when she says all you need to do ferments is salt, there's salt, there's different kinds of salt. So let's talk about that. What's good and what's bad?
You do not want a refined salt. You do not want something that has things added, and you do not want iodine. So you want, unrefined salt. So I use Redmond's real salt. You can also use Celtic salt. And then I mentioned Saturday, I did not know, a lady at church mentioned that she just ferments her kraut with canning salt. And when Shelly was at the house a couple of weeks ago, we looked it up, and sure enough, canning salt is not iodized, and I did not know that. So, but as far as this salt, this is a mineral salt. So, a lot of
the added benefits of that, right?
Going back to the soil, if you're buying, organic or as close to organic as you can get, as long as it hasn't been chemically sprayed, that soil may be depleted, so there may not be as many nutrients in that produce that you're trying to ferment. So this salt is a mineral salt, so it puts those minerals back in that was depleted possibly in the soil.
And the Celtic sea salt, you can use it too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what
And
about?
I use the fine ground. They do make a more coarse ground.
I like the fine too. Yeah.
When you're using the more coarse, you may have to use more salt in your ferment because, obviously it's bigger pieces.
I've got some flake salt. Oh man, I love using that because you'll sprinkle some of it on, and then you hit that big flake of flavored salt, and you're like, "Oh yes, ma'am." So, hey, what about pool salt that you use for your swimming pools? That
Don't
wouldn't
think
work.
that'll cut it.
All right. I didn't know because I don't know if it's iodized or not. I'm gonna have to
I
look.
don't know, but if I buy it in the swimming pool aisle, I might not want to put it in my food.
Right?
I don't know. I've got a bunch of it.
That doesn't surprise me. You got a bunch of everything.
Do you want me to talk about the amount
Stephanie.
of salt per quart?
Yes.
Okay.
Shelly, you handle the comments.
For my size family, basic, general, I do most everything in a quart jar. And so with that being said, in about a quart jar, you can fit almost perfectly a 3-pound head of cabbage. And per that quart jar of food, whatever produce you put in that quart jar, you need 4 teaspoons of salt. It's going to taste kind of salty. You don't want it salty enough that it's going to burn your mouth, but the salt will be absorbed in the process. So by the time your kraut or whatever you're fermenting is finished, the end result will not be as salty as when you're initially making it.
So even if you have to do, like with kraut, that's a dry brine, right?
Right.
Even if you have to make a brine, like for carrots or something, is it still that 4 teaspoons to however much water you're filling up in there, but per quart?
Right.
Okay.
Because essentially it still winds up to a quart of food. So when you're doing like a quart of carrots, normally I'll do about a little less than half of the filtered water. Again, y'all want to use filtered water because chlorinated water
kills the bacteria.
It'll kill the good bacteria, and then you're going to be left with a jar of rotted produce. So in a quart jar, do about half, a little less than half of filtered water with your 4 teaspoons of salt. Shake it up, mix it up, stir it up, however to dissolve your salt. Pack your food in there that you want, your cabbage or whatever, and you're going to leave 1.5-inch headspace from the top. I use my finger because each joint is about 1 inch, so from the top, because it's going to swell, it's going to create gases, and you don't want it to overflow and make a mess. So do about 1.5-inch headspace, and by the time you get your produce there, you've still got enough liquid to fully cover your food that's in there.
Stephanie had a comment here. It says, when the body is detoxing, it puts toxins out into the system, which causes flu-type symptoms. Sometimes herbalists suggest a binder to attach to the toxins and carries it out of the system. And then she said something about using charcoal. Yeah. Which when you're talking about charcoal, I do know that because if you like poisons and stuff, charcoal, you can take that and it'll bind to that and pass that through your system.
Yeah, I do keep activated charcoal in the house too for stuff like that, but I have personally never used it in a situation, when someone is detoxing that bad. The symptoms have never been like intense for me to even look into that, but yes.
Okay, so sometimes when you're fermenting, you don't use salt, you use sugar. So let's talk about sugar and different types of sugar, why we use sugar. And then I have a question that I hadn't even thought about till tonight. We'll get to that after you explain different types of sugar.
Okay. One thing, if you were at the meetup Saturday, I was just telling Jason and Shelly something that I should have specified and I meant to, and I got caught up in the moment and I forgot to. Because we were talking about sugar and how, inflammation feeds off of sugar and that kind of thing, and you're working on getting your inflammation down. There is a difference in sugar. When I'm talking about cutting out sugar, I'm talking about your GMO processed beet sugar. If you go to the grocery store and you get a bag that just says granulated sugar, most of the time that is a GMO beet. You do not want that.
So that's not like highly refined cane sugar or something. That's beet sugar. Right. I did not even know that.
And they're genetically modified. So, I try to steer clear of all that. But you want cane sugar, raw cane sugar. That comes from the sugar cane. So that's what you want. And that is your unprocessed, natural, real sugar that when I talk about using sugar for your kombucha or your ferments or your apple cider vinegar or your brandy, I'm talking about raw cane sugar, not GMO beet sugar. And I should have said that and I forgot. So, and there was something else I had too. We didn't even cover at the meetup. There is, and I'm learning more about it this year. I want to ferment more fruits. So I normally stick to vegetables, and other than the ABC thing that's got the apples in it, I want to do more fruits this year.
And Patty wants to know if monk fruit would be better than cane sugar.
I have never used monk fruit.
So we don't know. Maybe
that's on your to-do list now.
Yep.
Experiment.
Yep. I have some monk fruit in here. It's an alternative for my mom, but
I have granulated monk fruit too.
Yeah.
Because so that kind of ties into my other question, but you go ahead and say whatever you wanted to say.
When we were talking about the sugar, it was when you're doing vegetable or doing fruits, there is a sugar brine as well. I didn't bring that up at the meetup because we just did the 2 different salt brines, but just know, I don't have all the specifics on that, but if you want to ferment fruits as well, I'm sure you can Google a recipe pretty standard for a sugar brine for some ferments. If that's something you think maybe your kids or grandkids or somebody is more likely to eat, to get some ferments in their diet, I'm going to do some fruits this year. I'm adding that to my list.
Isn't the ginger bug in a sugar brine?
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Yep.
So
I want to do some apples and pears and peaches and plums. Like I want to try some different things like that.
I bet that'd be good. Okay, so when it comes to sugar and like to what Patty's saying about monk fruit, when I started pretty much detoxing stuff last summer, that was one of the things that Erica told me I couldn't have. She didn't want me to have like, and we only use raw cane sugar at our house, but she didn't want me to have any of that, but I could have monk fruit because it's typically it doesn't spike your blood sugar the way that sugar does.
Right.
So when you're talking about fermenting and using raw cane sugar, and that whole fermentation process, and I found this out when I screwed up my kombucha, right? My kombucha needed to have sugar for the bacteria to eat. It processes that sugar. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about making these things with sugar, if you're diabetic or if if things like that, you're susceptible to your blood sugar spiking or having problems with that, how does that play into that? Is that still something that a diabetic could take? I mean, can they still consume that, or is the sugar affected differently? Is it healthy?
The sugar itself is eaten up by the yeast that are in there and the bacteria.
Right.
They feed off of that. Personally, I have, like, my best friend is a really bad diabetic. And she's one that she does not have the confidence of fermenting yet, but she will eat my ferments all day long. She'll come up here and we share them, and I take them down there to her. As far as like kombucha is made, with sugar, she drinks my kombucha, and the next morning when she gets up, her fasting blood sugar is actually better.
Wow.
So,
okay, that's good.
Talking specifically about her, and then as far as whenever I was, working in the public, I never came across anyone that said, fermented things that had sugar in them affected their diabetes in a bad way. Because honestly, when you're eating the ferments and your internal inflammation is going down, everything kind of works better anyway. But I have never had anyone tell me that it affected their blood sugar in a negative way.
Awesome. I meant to ask you that Saturday because, I mean, when you talk about making ferments and using sugar and, like doing the gingerbread bug and it has brown sugar and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it just kind of, I'm sitting there going, am I supposed to be having this because of all the sugar I'm dumping in this? I mean, it just seems weird, but I mean, just seeing, because just for y'all's information, she taught me how to make kombucha. I went home, screwed it up, didn't do it right. Went for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, not putting any sugar in my tea that I put into the kombucha. It tasted like crap every time I tried it. And so I brought her a little jar to the Homestead meetup and I said, I don't know what I'm doing. This is gross. Why doesn't it taste like yours? And then she starts teaching the class and telling people, she's like, you brew your tea and you put sugar in there. And I'm like, in my mind going, did she just say you're supposed to add sugar? Because, oh my God, I have not been adding sugar. So I come home, I brew some more tea, put sugar in it, and the SCOBY is like rejoicing, man. It's like spreading out all over the thing. It amazes me how different the whole thing is, like
the
it
whole
literally
colony
is
is
alive.
walking now.
Yeah, everybody's happy. All the bacteria are like, party.
Yes.
So,
and I mean, as far as
but that proves right there that it's actually doing something to the sugar. It's actually breaking it down and processing it, right?
Yes, right. And like, your SCOBY, which, that's what SCOBY stands for, the symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. That's what it is. So literally that ugly little thing that floats, it's like a colony of rock stars. Like,
right.
It's like a sponge that just catches everything as everybody's walking by and floating in the air. And then you turn around and it breaks it down, and then it goes straight into your gut.
Right.
And then it fights off the bad things. So it's amazing. That's all there is to it. It's just amazing.
Okay, we just have about 10 minutes left. Tell everybody how to make brandy. How stinking easy it is to make brandy.
It's like stupid simple.
Yes.
Well, it's only going to take us like 2 seconds.
I know. It's so easy. But we still have to tell everybody about the festival. So you do your thing.
Then we can rant for 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, I normally make it in a gallon jar. This year, I've let it be known I'm just going to do like my 5-gallon crock and just do it easier that way. But anyway, you need 3 things other than your gallon jar, or you can even do a half-gallon jar. Depends on what you want to make it in. But anyway, you're going to get organic raisins. We find those at Kroger. Organic. I use Honeycrisp apples. If you want a more tart brandy, do Granny Smith. They just need to be organic because they got all those little microorganisms on there. And then the raw cane sugar. Those are the only 3 things you need. You're going to core your apples and slice them up. Put your cores to the side. Slice up your apples. You're going to put a layer in the bottom. None of this is a recipe. I don't measure anything. Take about 1/4 of a cup of cane sugar, sprinkle it on top of the apples, and then take a handful of organic raisins, sprinkle them around. Then you do another layer of apples, another layer of raisins, another layer of sugar. We use a fermenting punch stick and just kind of pack it down to get some of the air out of there. You continue to layer all the way to the top. Your final layer is going to be your sugar. And once you're all the way to the top, you use 2 layers of saran wrap, plastic wrap, and a rubber band over the top of the jar, and set like a heavy book on top for a couple of weeks. But literally tuck it in your pantry in a cool, dark place and give it at least 4 months. I normally do it in November, and then I turn around and strain it in November, give it away as Christmas gifts or whatever. But it can continue to sit and ferment for a year. But then literally you strain it through a cheesecloth and a wine strainer is what I do. Just pour it through, and it's ready to bottle then. That's it. It's the simplest thing ever. And then your leftover apple cores, put them in a jar. And if you're doing a 1/2 gallon, put filtered water and a 1/2 cup of cane sugar. If you're doing a full gallon, do a full gallon of water and a full cup of cane sugar. Mix it up, and then that's the beginning start of your apple cider vinegar, and you waste nothing.
That's a cool thing.
Even when you strain off that fruit, you can take the fruit and use it to make muffins or baked goods or whatever. You're still not wasting anything.
And you can put it in your compost too. All those little healthy guys in there that's left, throw them in your compost pile. But yeah, that's the beauty of it. You don't have any waste.
And Stephanie, we're in the process of doing that. Dana and I have already talked about it. So
yeah, I have grandbaby number 2 do that exact same time.
Right. You need to tell grandbaby number 2 to just cook another day or 2.
Yeah, stay tucked away.
Stay in the oven another day or 2, and then it'll be fine. So,
but y'all, that brandy is delicious, and so even if you're not a drinker, even if it's not something which, like what Dana said about figuring out what the gravity weight, whatever that the alcohol content thing is, knowing what that is, it is possible to use it for tinctures if it's high enough. But think about, it's also a bartering tool. Like if you bottled it, it's something that people will want that if they can't get that, right? So that could be a really good bartering tool just because it tastes so good.
Well, and when Josh put that hygrometer in there, when you're talking about sugar and ferments, the way it fell all the way to the bottom, he said, that tells me that there's no sugar left. So that right there, with it falling all the way to the bottom, because in your gallon, we did a whole cup of sugar per the whole gallon, basically. It was all eaten up during the fermentation process.
Yeah. So Miss Sharon says, once it's strained and bottled, how long is it shelf stable? Forever, right?
I have some that I've had since 2022, and that's what was shared at the meetup. And it is still just as clear and pretty as the day I strained it.
Yep.
And, it's the bottles have kind of like a cork top, so they're airtight. So I'm going to say because they're actually sealed and closed up.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that it'll last until I use it.
If it's got enough alcohol content, it's just like, if you got a high enough proof vodka or whiskey or anything else, that stuff, as long as it's sealed up and doesn't come in contact with the air, it's really an indefinite shelf life.
Yeah. And it hasn't, when I look at the batch that I made in 22, for the 22-23 year, and then like 4 to 25, they're all equivalent, and none of them look more cloudy or anything than, the older ones still look just as clear as the new ones.
As Patty said, hers would be gone within a few months.
Patty,
Patty, I'm pretty sure ours probably will be too.
Hey, there wasn't nothing hardly left of that little bottle of brandy.
It was some good stuff, man.
Oh.
All right, Jason, when is our festival? Tell some people about our festival.
Festival is July 17th, 18th, and 19th, Bowling Green, Kentucky, the Ag Expo Center. If you're not there, you're missing out. I mean, that's the thing. You can get your tickets on the website. And also, if you buy your tickets now, all right, I was like, what in the heck is going on? If you buy tickets now, you can get the festival T-shirt at 10% off. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it'll pop up there. Put your tickets in. It's like, hey, do you want to buy a festival shirt? Because only the cool people are going to have festival shirts.
Right. Jason also got the we have our volunteer form filled out, or it's up and going, and Jason got it on the website. If you click on festival information, come down here to festival volunteer, you can fill that out. And if you volunteer for at least 6 hours of volunteer time, that gets you a ticket in the door. So if you feel like, you want to come and help out and do all that, go fill out that form, because we'd love to have your assistance.
Yeah. And you'll get a free T-shirt too. So you'll be one of the cool people. Yeah. There is only one festival T-shirt in existence for this year right now. And Greg Skeens has got it.
Did he order his already?
Yeah. He was like, can you get me one and bring it on Saturday? And I was like, yeah. So Greg,
he's the first one.
I should have wrote a little number or 001 on the tag and
serial number.
So also, Danny, you should have wore your wood chipper shirt.
Well, it was either that or this one.
All
Farm, not pharma.
Well, next time.
Oh, I like that.
Next time you come on, you can wear the wood chipper shirt.
Next time, y'all.
Anxiety attack right there.
This is a whole lot different though than doing the meetup, because this is just like the three of us talking. Even though there's a bunch of people out there watching, like you're not looking at their faces, you know.
Yeah, I don't even put a voiceover on my reels, and you're talking about next time.
Well, what, Dana? Do you remember what I told you? Do you remember what I told you about it? She was nervous, and I'm like, Dana, I was like, you're standing in front of people, talking to people that are interested. I was like, I'm sitting in my basement talking to a rectangle. I was like, you're talking to real people. Don't feel stupid. I was like, I'm talking to a box and sitting on my desk.
Well, and not only that, at the meetup, you're talking to people who they're your tribe, man. They want to hear what you have to say.
Thank you all very much.
And Miss Sharon said you've done great.
Y'all have any questions, y'all just message me.
Your invite, your messenger is going to be going crazy.
That's fine.
Yeah, Miss Sharon shared Dana's Facebook page, so you can go friend request her on Facebook, send her messages. She'll answer your questions. I know, and we didn't get to it tonight, but like if any of y'all are like me, like fermenting, the scariest part of fermenting is like the stuff that grows on your ferments. And so you're like, we didn't even talk about that. Do you want to take a second and just, because that's the scariest part, right?
Do you want me to cover the calm yeast?
Yeah.
Okay. So
just
a lot
real
of times,
quick,
especially in the warmer temperatures. So if you're fermenting in your kitchen right now in the wintertime and it's, 68 degrees in your house, your ferments may take 5 to 7 days. In the summertime, when your garden is flourishing, things are coming in, it's warmer outside, warmer in your house, they're going to ferment in like 3 days. So there can be, my best rule of thumb, best advice to give you is your nose knows. If it smells rotten, throw it out. There is a white film that will form on top a lot of times, and that's called calm yeast. Some people just mix that on up and eat it. I don't do that. I just take a paper towel and gently wipe it off the top, throw my paper towel away. But that is not going to hurt you. Obviously, that's the beneficial yeast that, is forming in your ferment. And then as far as calm yeast versus mold on top, most of the time molds are kind of spotty. You'll have a patch here, a patch here, and a patch over here. It won't be like a solid powdery blanket on top. So if it has any color to it, black, green, red, whatever, throw it out. You don't want to eat that. But if it has that on it, it is not going to smell like a healthy ferment. It's not going to smell tangy, that kind of thing. It's going to smell rotten, and y'all know what rotten food smells like. So toss that out. Don't even waste your time on that. And
I know every time I take a picture of something and send it to her, she's like, "What does it smell like, Shelly?" And I'm like, "It smells like apple cider vinegar." And she's like, "It's okay."
Yeah, and taste it. I mean, one taste is not going to hurt you. If it smells yeasty, if it smells tangy, roll with it. It's going to be good. It's healthy. Another thing, a question I get a lot of time is the brine. If it's cloudy, you want a cloudy brine. Like a cloudy brine is a healthy brine. That means it's working. It means it's active. It means there's life in there. But your bubbles, when they roll up the side, your bubbles should be clear. So that's two really, really, really great indicators that your ferment's healthy.
I know I just have to say, and I know we didn't really talk about this tonight, maybe next time, right? I made some of that ABC stuff. That has to be like chopping that up in my food processor. That has to be the absolute prettiest ferment I've ever seen. Like those pieces of beet and the red cabbage, it almost like the beet was so red, it was like little gemstones in the thing. I was shocked at how pretty it is. I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful.
Yep. And speaking of, we were talking, I know we got to get off of here, but just a little fun fact for you all to know. I don't know. Did you know cabbage has more vitamin C than an orange? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Red cabbage specifically. Green cabbage is great too, but red cabbage specifically in a cup of chopped cabbage has more vitamin C than an orange. But when you ferment that red cabbage, it increases by like 12 times. So,
wow.
Yeah, and just a small amount, like a fourth of a cup of red fermented cabbage, you can eat a whole cup of it and have your whole entire day vitamin C.
So is it the beets that is loaded with iron?
Yes.
So your body automatically needs vitamin C to process iron for your body to process iron. So making that ABC thing, you get the iron from the beets and the vitamin C from the cabbage. And that's why you told me it's great for people who are anemic or low iron or whatever.
And that right there is your blood pressure rock star. Jason. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all right. Mike and Stephanie, I am working on that. I've already told her this, but she said it's a hard no. But I mean, all we have to do is pressure her and she'll give in finally.
She does give a lot of great information on her Facebook page. So you guys, and she'll answer your questions and everything. So even if she's not on YouTube, she puts out videos on Facebook and like little instructional, small bite videos and stuff that it's nice because you can be like, oh yeah, I'll save that and go back and look at it or whatever. Yep. But she'll answer your questions and all that. Just hit her up on Facebook.
Yep.
And then also I'll be live on Friday morning, and most of the people will be in on Friday morning. I want to know by Friday morning who has started brandy or a ferment by Friday morning. You've got a day to do it. Yeah. So you've got a day, and then Dana showed in 3 seconds how easy it was to do a brandy. So
Yeah.
I want to know. That's what I'm going to ask: is who started their ferment? I'll
And
probably
just
forget, but
just FYI, if you're making the brandy in a gallon jug, you need roughly 6 pounds of apples to do that. So that, like at Kroger, they sell the Honeycrisp apples in 2-pound bags. It's usually like, I don't know, 6 to 8 apples or something like that. It took, for both of the gallon jugs that I made, it was roughly 6 pounds of apples per jug.
And you are not going to get a gallon of brandy out of that.
Mm-mm.
You're going to get around a quart, maybe a quart and a half. Because, I mean, ask Shelly, within 24 hours, if you make it tonight, by in the morning, you're already going to have a good amount at the top of the jar where
It'll be down like 2 or 3 inches.
Extracting the apple juice. So, a little friendly tip, within that first 24 hours, go ahead and add another layer or two, layer it back up to the top, cover it back up. You can't continue to do that. You can only do it for like the first 24 hours, but that will give you at least probably another half a pint or so whenever you strain it out.
I'm thinking about doing a 55-gallon drum.
I told you I got this. Well, we got to get the bourbon out of it. There's a few gallons of bourbon left in it.
I have a bunch of these that I got at an estate auction to make wine in.
Yeah.
But I don't think that, like, the top is too small. I don't think I'm going to be able to do like apples and stuff. But I would love to have a big jug of that stuff.
Brooks got a question real quick before we jump off.
Straggler question about a cup total of sugar per gallon or half gallon.
About per gallon. Like I said, I don't really measure anything. But whenever we did Shelly's the other day, she used a spoon that was 1/4 of a cup, and she did 4 layers. So it wound up being about a cup total per gallon.
Yeah. And then when I went back the next day and added more apples, when it went down a little bit and I added more apples the next morning, I added like another 1/4 cup on top of that. So yeah, it was about a cup and a quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. I think we've
Patty says, note to self, grow more Honeycrisp apple trees.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
All right. It's getting Kelly's bedtime. She's gonna be tired.
I think it's because I love talking about this.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll learn more about fermenting, and then you'll be happier. We can go on longer on Wednesday nights. So.
That sounded awful, didn't it? Like, I don't really like talking to Jason, so I'm just gonna sit here and yawn.
Yeah, appreciate it. So yeah, she said Sarah kind of like yawning and getting tired, and then I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to go off on a rant so I can wake her up.
You're gonna have to talk about something that fires her up.
Yeah, and then it's like, stop talking about that. Don't tell the joke about this.
He tells these jokes, and I'm just going, oh my God, they're like going to kick us off of everything. They're going to arrest us or something, whatever.
Hey, wait, I got one more little note.
Okay. Okay, what is it?
Since I said you can ferment any vegetable, don't wait until your garden is busting with produce and then decide, hey, I'm going to try this and take a chance on ruining everything. Go to the grocery now while it's gross outside. Pick you up a head of cabbage or 2 or beets or whatever. Try now. Start practicing now. That way you have it down pat by the time, everything is in season at the farmer's market, or if you're growing it or whatever.
Yeah. Just make sure they're organic.
Yeah. Yeah. Do organic.
All right.
That's all I've got.
All right, guys, I appreciate you a bunch. If you've got any questions, shoot us an email or hit Dana on Facebook. I'll be back here Friday morning with something fun. I hadn't thought of a topic yet, but I'll think of one between now and then. So if you need anything, run to the website. If you got any questions, email us. And guys, I appreciate y'all being here a bunch. Dana, we super appreciate it. You banged it out of the park for your first one.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Dana. We appreciate you.
all right,
You're
we will
welcome.
see y'all soon. Y'all have a good night.
Bye.